Good morning. It is some winter solstice. I was going to say summer solstice. Today's one of those days where I'm a little bit crusty, a little bit cranky, a little bit on edge. Woke up a little bit more reactive, a little more frustrated, finding things that are irritating, finding things that I want to clean out that are ready to be released, to get rid of. All about that today. Today is all about getting rid of what's not working, looking at the truth about what's inside, what's going on inside. I just had this whole screaming battle at my son. You're probably feeling a little bit of it left over. Good morning, Maria. My son has this thing. Like, if you follow me on Facebook, you know we just recently discovered, oh gosh, about 50 dishes under his bed that has been stuffing and storing under there and lying to us and hiding them behind things, and his room is just disgusting and I just struggle. Thank you, Alex. Good morning. Thank you for that confirmation, because seriously, I just got done yelling. My throat even hurts a little bit from yelling. That's how angry I was. Oh, so annoyed. So today is solstice. I kind of have some fun things to share, but we've got readings to start with. Letting that go. Ooh. So tell me, how are you guys this morning? Good morning, Kathy. Let's see. I'm going to pull out some cards while you guys join in, and we are going to do readings for Elena, Maria, and Agata. We'll see if Aga comes in. So let's see. Alina, Messenger Oracle wants to speak with you. You might have to catch this on the replay. Whew. Cleaning house. These want to be cleared. Everything wants to be cleared today. So if you're finding that, yeah, the cold is irritating you, Maria. It does create a lot more aches in the bones and the joints for sure. What I don't like about the cold is it seems like whenever it starts to really shift and get cold, my cat gets fleas. So like everything in the house is kind of in this reactive space. My cat showed up with fleas last night. We're working on that, and we're getting weird bites and cleaning the house and just cleaning up, cleaning out, getting rid of. Big solstice energy. All right, so let's see. Elena, let's see. What are we pulling for you? Okay. Ah, love. Looks like you're still going through the thick of that. So it says, let the emotions flow, this card. This is one of those that I think a lot of us kind of get stuck in. When we feel really overpowering emotional trauma, strife, struggle, we often... Yes. This is why I don't work in those kind of places anymore, Alex. But I love that you're there because they need you. They need you there. Oh, I had cold. Oh, God, cold and infection. That's no fun. That is no fun. And you were flying with that, Maria? That's definitely no fun. Definitely no fun. So letting the emotions flow for Elena. One of the things that I find... Oh, wait, is Voss aware of the public shaming? No. Yes, he is actually. He knows that I put it on there, and he knows that I talk about it. I've decided public shaming, Michael, is a good thing. I think that shame is something that we're missing in a certain respect. Now, obviously, everything has to be in balance, but when you don't choose to listen to the mama, when the mama's talking nice, then you get the mama yelling. When you choose not to listen to the mama yelling, then you get the mama losing it. And then you get public shaming. So it's a progression. Progression. Next will come jail time. Okay, so letting the emotions flow. I'm gonna try to stay on target with that for a second. What I'm noticing as we are feeling these overwhelming things, and I know, Elena, that you're going through a lot, but I think a lot of people are right now. So many people are breaking things down, breaking relationships, breaking homes, breaking spaces, breaking jobs, breaking careers. A lot of that's going on right now because things that don't serve are no longer working for you. So, well, that leaves all these kind of emotions all pent up inside, and we get caught up in the breaking and the running and the getting away from, the leaving, and we forget to sit in with the emotions. So I think that right now, it's a time today to sit with those emotions, let them flow through you, let them wash out, let them cleanse through that body, and not resist them. You know, we have to let them flow, and that's how we get out of them. One of my friends, she likes to say, when you find yourself in hell, that's the worst time to get out of the car. You keep going, you follow it, you stay in the car, and you keep going until you find yourself on the other side of it. And that really feels like what this card is asking for you to do. So let's see. I'm noticing I'm getting a little bit of a pink light in here. Maybe I need to soften up a little bit. We'll see. Thank you, Michael. Oh, and good morning, Kimberly. It was hilarious. Right as soon as I got done, like the second I got done screaming at my son, and I was like, now I have to do the show, and I'm totally angry right now. Kimberly sent me a little message of one of those little lights, and it's like, I'm sending you love and light and peace and happiness, and it just cracked me up. I'm like, how did you know I just got done screaming at my kid? Oh God, I was totally screaming. I don't do that very often. Okay, so, but I have been lately with this dish thing driving me crazy. Okay, so Maria, let's see who wants to talk to you today. Good morning, Kathy. Ooh. Well, I'm going to say that Ganesh wants to talk to you, Maria. And remember, if you guys are interested in getting a card pulled for you, good morning, Andrea, just let me know, and tomorrow I'll put you on the list. We're going to just stick with 3 today because it's solstice, so we're going to do kind of a lot today. So this one is for Maria. Oh, good morning, Chris. You made it. Looks like you're figuring out whatever it was that was blocking you. Still processing through that anger. Flow through the anger. All right, so this one is for Maria. Inner knowing. So these are the Ganesh cards, and Ganesh carries with him an overall energy of the removal of obstacles. He's the god of removal of obstacles. He's the god of overcoming unsurmountable challenges. You know, his story is he had his head cut off by his dad when he blocked his dad from going into the bath with his mother. So his mother demanded that her husband go and find a replacement head. And so yes, I would love to, Alex. So the head that was found was the head of this really famous warrior elephant that was famous amongst the elephants, right? And it's this adult, mature, warring elephant put onto the body of this loving, sweet boy made from the bath foam of his mother and magic. So if you can't overcome that obstacle, I don't know what other obstacle you could. Now, one of the things that Ganesh was known for was this innate knowledge and wisdom that he held, and people would come and bring him treats and share with him just to hear his wisdom. So Ganesh is saying, you have that inner wisdom, Maria, and it's time to start really dropping into the inner knowing, the inner knowledge, the inner understanding and awareness. And how can you use that? How can you take that knowledge and understanding and make it into something that works for you? I think right now, you know, your inner knowing tends to get turned off a little bit by your external pleasing, you know, your need to make sure that everyone else around you feels validated and accepted and loved and known for their understanding and awareness. But now it's time to recognize your own, I think. The light's shifting a little bit blue, telling me, yeah, and communicate it as well. So it's time to start sharing and communicating your inner knowledge, love, because it's awesome. Right? It's awesome. I'm already feeling better. Okay, so, and oh God, I have to tell you guys this too, because our first attempt to get rid of those fleas was using the DE, diatomaceous earth. So everything in our house is covered with this fine white powder. And I just looked down and I've got like lines of it all across my shirt. Thank God they're not in the caption, because that would be a little embarrassing. So one more card pull for Agatha. Agatha, where should we go for you? The goddesses. And I have a feeling, you're welcome, Maria, and I have a feeling that this pull, though is for Agatha, is going to actually be for all of us. The goddesses tend to, they're a hierarchical energy. You know, let's talk about their for quick stuff second. Oh yeah, Michael, we don't buy the kind that's bad for that, and we also don't let it get, you know, too dusty using a little poof bottle that's low. So yeah, I'm aware of the breathing in thing. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, like God and goddess energy, they're hierarchical energies. What does that mean? We talked yesterday about how we're pieces of source, how we're like a fragment of the whole. So a hierarchical energy would be that wedge. So if you're like the pulp fiber inside of that wedge, the wedge itself is kind of that hierarchical energy that holds all sorts of lessons and values and thoughts and behaviors, all in relationship to each other. So that's one of the reasons that when the goddess energy comes in, it's impactful on such a bigger scale, because it's impactful for that whole vibration, that whole attunement. And then we kind of have clumped them together in these consciousnesses. Over time, as people have worshipped and practiced various, ceremonial and private practices to worship these godlike energies, they've kind of developed their own consciousness in a sense. They've developed a role in and of themselves. Kind of like how, demons really kind of come from the darkness we reject from ourselves and expect others to hold for us. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, so let me look at this name for just one second, because I'm horrible at reading these things. Mahuika, the goddess of anger, and Ishtar, the goddess of passion, are the two goddesses that we got today. I think that's hilarious. Aga, you got here just in time. This is your card pull. So, what is her name again? Mahuika, the goddess of anger, and Ishtar, the goddess of passion, were the two cards pulled. And I'm going to, because the last time I think I called like an Australian or an outback goddess, an African goddess. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm pretty sure though that Mahuika is a Hawaiian goddess. So let's check. And then we'll, yeah. She lived on a flaming mountain, was convinced by a trickster in Maui, the trickster of Maui, yeah, it must be Hawaiian, to light her magical fire, one by one, from every nail in her hands and feet. He played on her wrath by continually extinguishing each little flame and asking for more. Mahuika exploded in anger and caused an enormous fire on earth. When it burned out, magical sparks were saved inside the trees. The kindling sparks of wood friction are her symbol. The green high tiki figure symbolizes the first Moai gods from the stars. Mahuika cautions you to monitor your anger, as I exploded this morning. And if you feel people are rubbing you the wrong way, watch. Powerful fire will burn out of control quickly and destroy whatever is in its path. Anger is your sacred fuel and adrenaline that must be used judiciously. Be wise and use your anger as a motivation to spark your path. So like what's coming to me with that one in particular is right now, I think that a lot of us are going to be purging and releasing. And one of the best ways to clear out and purge is to burn, right? And I think that's one of the reasons that, when we start talking about healing energy, a lot of people are calling them flames, the violet flame, the blue flame, the white flame, the rainbow flame. These flame energies are like these burning through, purging through, and releasing. So, excuse me, Mahuika, she was like called into this by somebody going, ooh, I really like what you do. Show me all your fire. Oh, I'm going to put that out. Now do it again. Oh, I'm going to put that out. No, I'm going to do it again. No, put that out. So I think, Aga, you've got somebody around you that's asking for something, and when you give it, they're putting it out and putting it down. And the response is to get angry, to lose it. But use that anger in a different way. Instead of just like blazing the earth, try using it in a different way to motivate you or challenge you or get you to explore in another realm. Although, God, a good outburst just feels so good. I was totally doing that this morning. Now, Ishtar, what I think is interesting is you've got passion and anger both coming, because we can easily transition our passion into anger, but can we as easily transition it back? Bring it back into passion when we've stepped into the anger point. Ishtar, voluptuous Babylonian goddess Ishtar, is both lover and warrior. She is associated with tantric sexuality, as everything in the universe relates to divine sexual energy. Ishtar is the greatest inspiration for all living things to connect with the sacred frequencies of sexual passion. Oh, so maybe you're not supposed to fight. Maybe you're supposed to do the other F word. Patriarchal worshippers attempt to demonize her as a harlot. The 8-pointed star is her symbol, and the lion is her animal representation. Ishtar calls out to you to awaken and come alive. Be seduced by your senses and passions for what excites you. So again, it's really beckoning all of us. Those things that are enraging you, use the fire and the energy that comes from this to do this, to become a passionate warrior, and to speak up and speak out, and to show up and show out loud all that you have, right? Ooh, look at how bright I got for that one. Clearly, that's a message that needed to come through, and I think it's something that's good for all of us, especially since, I just screamed at my son. But you know what he said after I got done yelling at him? He said, I know you want me to clean my room, Mom, but I want to clean my room. And I was like, good, because maybe you don't get clean now. So those are my card pulls for today. So today is the solstice, right? So tonight is going to be our longest night of the year, the night of darkness. One of the things I thought would be really kind of fun is look at some other cultures and traditions around solstice. In the Viking space, and I think I posted something about this. It's called Jule, the night of the night that the Holy King. I thought this was really cool. The Holly King, waning god, who is the waning god of the past year, battles with the Oak King, the god of the coming year, the waxing year. They battle it out to see who gets to take their energy forward. I thought that was kind of interesting, because I do think there's this element at this time of year where we have this kind of struggle, this little bit of a fight, this little bit of I didn't get that finished and I want to move forward with these new passions. I think that's where the New Year's resolution comes from also. Kind of that energy to break away from the old and to step forward into the new. And oftentimes we're really battling ourselves. In Egypt, they believe that this is the time when Horus was birthed by the virgin Ishtar. Now, that I thought was really interesting too, because, if you start looking back far enough in where the Christian stories, the Jesus birth, the miraculous birth comes from, you find echoes of those stories in other cultures. And actually, the very first reference to that is in Egypt, with Isis and Horus being birthed by a virgin birth. And Horus is also considered to be Thoth, and also called Ra. So these for me, why I find that fascinating is for about the last year now, I have consciously been connecting in with the avian consciousnesses that reference themselves as Ra. And I have been feeling that come through so strong, getting confirmations from others who are coming out and speaking up about Ra consciousness. If you feel any connection to that, if hearing about that avians or Ra consciousness comes and like makes a tingle or a ping for you, research it more. You know, there's so much coming out now. My favorite is looking at Vashta Narada's art. She does channeled artwork for people. Her depictions of Ratir Air for Corey Good and the Cosmic Disclosure Project on Gaia TV, which is a great resource if you want to look into that, really helped me. As soon as I saw that image, it was like it came through even clearer. Where before I would have to ask a question, and the kind of questions would get me on the strand of consciousness. Just looking at that image was like, boom, that's it. So I also am noticing a lot more reference to Egyptian gods are coming out. You know, we have so much fascination and love with Atlantis and the concepts from Atlantis, and Egypt really was that next place where the Atlanteans expressed themselves, their laws, their views, their values, their ethos, and I think that I think there's a reason that that's coming up. I think that that was kind of one of those turning points in our culture where we were given a choice of falling into belief systems and patterns or into self patterns. And again, once again, the powers that be, the greed of the human heart and mind, took those messages and sequestered them away and turned them into holy sacred knowledge that the priests keep. And I think it's at that point where we stopped as a collective being responsible for ourselves and started turning instead to others to be our priests, to be our practitioners, to be our doctors, to be our healers, where before your healing was really very much your responsibility. So I think that I find that fascinating. Now, some other things, some other points about today that are interesting. Today is the closing. I mentioned this yesterday. It's a closing of a portal, right? A closing of this period in our Earth. It's called the galactic alignment. It's been going on for about 36 years now, and it's essentially our solar system, right? Our solar system is riding on this great disk of the Milky Way, but it doesn't actually just go in this perfect flat orbit. It actually has just like our planet has a precession to it, also our solar system orbiting around the center of our galaxy has a bit of a precession to it, a wobble. So sometimes we're in line with the galaxy, and sometimes we're above the line, and then we come back and descend through, come back and go up. This is that period of the golden age, silver age, bronze age. One full rotational cycle is an age usually for our planet. Right now we're in that period of passing through the actual disk of the Milky Way. Now you have to think of that in terms of a galactic energy. That means the center of the Milky Way has energy going in and radiating out. So the energies are pulling and pushing, always in a state of contraction and expansion, contraction and expansion. Now the energies on this plane are different than they are up here and that they are down here. And as we pass through this plane of energy, we transition and come into a different space of alignment. And that's why in our periods of our different ages of evolution and growth, we have great feats of amazing accomplishments, and then somehow they just deconstructed and the whole civilization collapsed. Well, that's a part of that cycle. Right now we're going through that process of going in that space, and the 36-year galactic alignment is us shifting energetically with all the energies that are coming through. So what I've heard is it's the gamma rays specifically that are coming from the center of the excuse me, I almost spilled some of my smiling coffee. It's the gamma rays that are coming from the center of the Milky Way that are the most impacting us physiologically, genetically. 99% of our DNA is considered junk DNA. We don't really know what that's for. And that's actually a huge part of it. That DNA is actually our connections with other beings, other races, our ability to process and translate energetic information. A lot of clairsentient information is in that genetic coding because we are genetically coded with the memories of everyone who's come before us. We're genetically encoded with that knowledge. Mercury in retrograde. Mercury's in retrograde a lot. It's one of those things that does pull us, yes. So, let's see, where was I at? The galactic alignment. Another person, Tiffany Styles, who I absolutely love watching and following her stuff. She's a great channel. She talked about how now we're entering into the opening of the Diamond Portal. This happens every year at the Solstice Time, and the Diamond Portal is a Merkaba activation. So the Merkaba, what is the Merkaba? I think that we have, let me feel, have we talked? I don't think we've talked about that on here. So the reason I'm going into that is because today our meditation is going to be about a Merkaba, about using our Merkaba, activating it and working with it. Abbas, you're going to have to read back or watch this from the beginning because I've already kind of started to talk about that. So the solstice, as we know already, the solstices are that time where we are at our greatest precession and facing completely away from the earth, and the southern hemisphere is getting all that sunlight, and we're kind of not getting much of any right now. So the light is on the other side from us, right? So it's a different kind of an energy that's going on. That Merkaba energy is what we call the energy field around us. We all have one. We all have it. We all have one. It's just how conscious are we of it? Are we actively accessing it? Are we actively turning it on? Are we actively shifting ourselves into a state of using that energy, of using that power that we have? Are we actively tuning into it and adjusting as necessary? So a lot of us don't even know what it is or how to tap into it or how to use it. It's just like if you've never done math before and somebody gives you numbers and you're like, wait a minute, I can add these things, I can subtract these things, this gives me some power. The same is true with the Merkaba. Coming into awareness about it and understanding of it helps so much. Now, there's a lot of information out there that you can find about the Merkaba. Today we are not going to work on the Merkaba the way that I have normally worked on it. We're going to do some open channeling and see what comes through as we tap into the Diamond Portal energy. So I can't exactly tell you what that'll be like. I'm going to take some coffee sips. But, so the solstice, so Abbas, what is the solstice? The solstice is a time of year where we are in a natural procession around the sun, right? We're naturally going around the sun at this angle. And as we go around, notice how the light gets darker and lighter in different parts on my hand. See the difference? So when we're at the summer solstice, we're the furthest away. We're in this dark space and all the light is on the other side. So we're in darkness, and then as we come around for summer solstice, we're in total light. So that's basically what the solstice itself is. Now, as you come into tune with energies and galactic energies and energies of the solar system and of the planet, you can feel these differences. A lot of people woke up today feeling that way. Oh my gosh, looks like somebody's getting their carpets cleaned outside. So let's see, was there something? I'm just going to check my notes. Make sure I got everything I wanted to say. Yeah. So this time right now is really about we're in darkness. What do you do when you're in the dark? You can't look around you. You can't look at the external. And we talked about the externalization before. You're in the dark, so you've got to go in and feel and sense. What this reminds me of is, I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story. And this doesn't actually have entirely to do with the solstice, though it was close to this time of year last year. A good friend of mine and I, we decided I really wanted to go and do a nighttime meditation at a waterfall. But it's a bit of a hike into the waterfall. I think it's a little less than a mile in, all the way to where the waterfall is. And it's in the Columbia River Gorge, in this slot canyon that goes back into the gorge. So it's a really narrow canyon. There's a lot of trees lining either side of the canyon. And you're essentially walking on this trail that kind of scales that canyon wall that's kind of etched out of it. And so there's a drop off here and a wall here. And then you cross over, and then you're doing a more open walk on the other side. So we went on this hike, and it was nighttime. I think we left around 6 or so, 6 or maybe it was 7. Honestly, I can't remember actually when it was, but it was still light out when we left. So it must have actually been earlier in the year. And we went down there. We got there just as it was getting dark. We had, before I left, I put 2 flashlights in my bag, put batteries for both flashlights in my bag, replacement batteries, plus change the batteries in the flashlight. And I had with me some chocolate, some water, and a joint. And I felt like, ooh, we are set. We're good. We're going to go. We're going to meditate. We're going to smoke. We're going to have fun. We're going to be out there until I'm ready to come back home. And then we'll come back home. And we got there. We had this amazing meditation. It was at Waklela Falls, one of my favorite little hikes. It's an easy hike. It's beautiful. So we're at Waklela Falls. We're meditating. This giant trans-dimensional lotus opened up. We were in the center. We felt ourselves surrounded by ancient ancestors and galactic ancestry. We could feel the angels coming in. I mean, it was a powerful experience. It shifted me so deeply, I can't even begin to say. I felt like I could see everything and anything in the world, everything and anything that was ever created for the creation. I could feel and see it and sense it and be in it. And it was just beautiful. So we came out of it. We were like both compared notes. Well, what did you experience? This is what I experienced. Oh my God, I had the same experience. That's when you know, right? When you get that confirmation that somebody where you're not even speaking through meditation, but you've gone through the same experience, then suddenly you're not crazy, right? If somebody else is sitting on a trans-dimensional lotus and experiencing the gods talking to them and their ancestors around them, you're not the crazy one, right? Because, hey, you were there too. So it becomes a real experience. It takes on that depth, that character. So afterward, it's time to go. And I realized my friend has no flashlight with him. He's got nothing. He didn't bring anything. And so we pull out my flashlight. I go to give him one, and I was going to have one because I brought 2. Well, there was only 1 flashlight in my bag. And I couldn't believe it. I looked all through it, only 1 flashlight. So I gave him the flashlight. He was in the lead, and I was going to walk behind him. And so we're walking, and I think we get maybe about, it's a mile walk. It's a hike. You know, you're going up and down, you're weaving. There's like water that'll run through at some points and kind of wash out the trail a little bit. So you kind of really have to hug the side. So anyway, we're walking along, and it starts to get dim. The light starts to dim, and I realized those batteries are dying, aren't they? And he goes, yeah, they are. Do you have any spares? And I said, yeah, I do. So give me the flashlight and I'll look in my bag and find them. So there's no batteries in my bag. No batteries at all. None of the 8 batteries that I put in my bag were in there. I was like, I swear to God, I put batteries in here. I swear. And he laughs and he's like, well, okay, let's see how long we can make it last. So for a while, he'd turn it off. He'd look, turn it off, and we'd walk for a ways. And then he'd look, turn it off, and we'd walk for a ways. And then it was so dim. There was just nothing. That worked for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, until we got to the top of this, climbing up and out from where the waterfall is and up on that that ridge line. And so he goes, I think we're just going to have to turn the light off. And I said, okay. So we kind of like start walking, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I was feeling the wall, right? Like the cliffside, which is full of bushes and stickery things. And I'm just really lightly trying to just, okay, yeah, we're still within arm reach of this side wall. And he's reaching out with his foot, like tap, tap. Is there still ground there? Tap, tap. Is there still ground there? And so we made our way this way for a little while. And I just started laughing. I was laughing so hard. And he was like, what are you laughing about? What's so funny? Because it was really kind of a scary and stressful experience. It was cold. It was night. I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking on some levels, we could be those people that people are searching for. You dumbasses going out meditating in the middle of the night. So, but I'm just laughing. And he goes, what are you laughing about? And I said, well, here we were seeing the cosmos, seeing everything, and feeling so amazing and so big and so powerful. And then all of a sudden, we're blinded. Like, now see, use those eyes now, you know? And we both started laughing, and we decided, okay, this is part of our test. This is part of our testing ground. Being in darkness, being completely in darkness, our lives kind of on the line. If we make a misstep, we could, one or the other of us, that's why he was in front, could fall to our deaths. And all we had was what we had inside of us. Nothing else. Everything else was taken away. So we paused. We grounded in deep to the trail, right? Opened up our connection, allowing that energy to flow through us, opening our other senses. And I'm not talking about our ears or our smell, opening up our clair senses. I imagined my eye just got so big and projected it out in front of both of us. And I stopped feeling the wall, and I put both of my hands on his back and projected my sight, my energy through him, through our space. And really quickly, we started to walk again. And we started to walk in step. And we started to walk quicker and bigger steps. And before we knew it, we were at the end. It had opened up, and we'd made it out. And we could easily find our way back to the car by that point. So sometimes when you feel in that darkest night, in that darkest space, and you're completely lost, this beckons back to the earlier card of let the emotions flow, let the fear flow, let it all flow through, and then pick up the pace and move forward. Continue moving forward, trusting in that inner knowing, trusting in that inner understanding. And we all feel that way. We all struggle with that. And right now, I think, is one of those times collectively as a country we're struggling the most of feeling like we're stuck in this darkness. So our meditation today, that puts us in perfect time for it, right? Okay, so I want you to take a moment and just come into yourself. Start letting go of the things that are around you, because what we're going to do is activate your Diamond Merkaba and help you feel this darkness. Feel it in a different way. Rather than feel it as an experience that's happening to you, it's for you. This is an experience for you to open up in a whole new way, okay? So get comfortable, check your posture, make sure you're sitting comfortably. Ooh. Already so we're good. You know the routine already. Perfect. So feel your feet touching the ground, your seat touching your chair, and let your roots start to grow as you breathe in. Present moment in awareness, and exhale. Letting go. Breathing in, present moment of awareness. Feeling that air passing through the bronchioles and into the lungs. And exhaling. Breathing in, present moment. And as you exhale, release all the thoughts of what happened already today. Naughty little boy. Of course, I have to cough for that. Breathing in, present moment. And releasing what you have left today to accomplish. Just coming fully in this moment. Breathing in. Present awareness. And exhaling. Release the expectations you hold upon yourself. Feel those roots and take note, where are you already allowing that energy to flow up to naturally? Is it already up in your legs? Is it already up in your seat? Let that energy of Gaia, like the tide coming in, come at her own rate, coming up through the body, scrubbing and cleansing, releasing as it goes. I'm going to let you guys bring that energy up on your own this time. And I'll feel where you're at collectively. Feels like it's coming up into the belly. You guys are doing wonderful. Bring it on up more. Let it come. Remember, your breath is creating and driving that engine in your body. Breathing in, bringing and drawing it up more. And exhaling, releasing. Some more expectations, letting go. As you breathe in this time, I want you to breathe all the way down, like your root is opening up. Your diaphragm's all the way in your seat. All the way down into the root chakra. Big breath and release. Releasing from the root. Feeling that breath, the energy of that breath traveling through the whole column of the body. Okay, good. You guys are getting that energy up in the heart space. If you're not feeling it there quite yet, that's okay. Just allow. We're going to bring it up through that throat. I use my hands a lot when I'm moving the energy around. Just like when you're in the water and you want to move the current. Help swish things, create a swishing action. Help scrub things or flow. These motions, though they're our body, they encourage the energy as well. Bringing it up through that head. Some of you are already connected, it's beautiful. Now open that crown and exhale through the crown. Breathing in through that crown now, open crown and all the way down and exhaling through it. Allowing that light of source to just shine down like liquid golden energy. Shine down on the crown, Leaf blowers. Leaf blowers now. Interesting. Let's use the energy of those leaf blowers to blow through the debris. Bring that source energy down through the body, through the throat, as it cleans and cleanses, nourishes, then flushes. Solar plex, down through that seat, all the way down through the sacral and seats, your root. Send that energy down, connecting Gaia and Earth. I'll move a little closer to see if I can talk over the leaf blowers. Now I want you to take a moment and imagine that from your heart you have this plane radiating out. This plane radiating out around you of connection. All the networks of connection to all other humans. This is that collective consciousness that we've got going. Feel that plane radiating out from you. Feel it stretching. Now I want you to pick 3 points around you. One that represents you. You at your most whole self. Your soul, your consciousness. One that is that collective creative consciousness, the source. And one that is the body, the life that you're here living. These 3 points are your connection, your boundaries for this expression. Feel them around you and form a triangle with those 3 points. Now allow those 3 points to come together to a point below you. Imagine that you're forming a downward facing pyramid, right? That comes to a point just below you. And allow that point to continue all the way down through the earth, through her center, all the way down, past her center, and out the other side of Gaia. Going through. Continue following that line all the way, arcing gracefully into the sun. There's a big giant coronal sunspot right now that's pointing right at us like a portal. Come on in. Go right in through that sunspot into the heart of the sun. Let yourself ground and connect into that solar space. Continue through the sun, out the other side. Continue following that line as it arcs gracefully into the spiral of the Milky Way, following it all the way into the center, all the way into the center of that spiraling black hole. Enter in through that black hole where all light is gone. You're in that point of singularity. All light is inside, condensed into a singularity, a one consciousness, a one light. Go into that light. And feel the connection to Source there. Now continue following that line through that point of singularity as it begins to break up. and divide and open and unfold. Follow that line through all the way back to where it forms right above your head. Feel it come all the way back through all those strands of division, all those parts of self, all the way until it's right above your head. And allow it to split into the three. The soul, the source, and the body. And opening back up. Feel that diamond-like Merkaba shape. Allow it to spin, whatever direction it needs to spin in, to activate. Feel the energy flowing through it as you're connected and grounded galactically. Feel that energy flowing and let it spin. If it's spinning in a counterclockwise direction, that's because it's time to remove some things, let some things go. Whatever comes to mind while you're running this, don't fight it. Don't resist it. Don't resist how it makes you feel. Don't resist what it makes you think. Don't judge it. Don't evaluate it. Just observe. Observe as you flow that energy through and allow it to come up. If you're noticing parts of the body that feel tenseness and pain or disruption of any sort, thank them for showing you that. Allow them to tell you what that's about. Put a little mouth on it, and then release. Thank you. Thank you for creating this for me, for showing me myself more deeply. If it's spinning now in a clockwise direction, it's bringing in energy. It's pulling in energy. Maybe you're depleted. Maybe you're just wiped out and drained. Allow yourself to exist within this Diamond Merkaba for as long as you want. This is one of those things I carry with me, my Merkaba, consciously, tapping and grounding, connecting to it, flowing with it. When I want to do big work with somebody, when I want to do big work on myself, consciously tapping into that Merkaba, feeling those 3 points around me, feeling it descend, grounding and connecting, coming up from above, bringing it all the way home. So this is how you activate that Diamond Merkaba. Now, use it. Try actively, consciously activating it before doing your next meditation, your next self-work session. Try doing it before you're going to do your next creative project, or showing up to work the next day, or before a meeting, or before a phone call, and see how you can show up as the whole you. You're not autopiloted. You're not reactive, responsive. You're able to observe, feel, and experience. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Happy solstice. Take some quiet time in the dark. Feel yourself. Come center. Come grounded. And if you need any help with it, let me know. Oh, check out our website. We've changed it up a lot, you guys. Lots of new there's new classes, lots of new sessions and attunements and ways to work with me and Shauna. And oh, tonight is Psychic Wednesday. So if you're in the Portland area and you'd like to get a full reading with me, I give my fair rates at Psychic Wednesday, so it's only $20 to get a full big spread reading with me and energy work. So come on down and have dinner with me and we'll do a reading. And that's it. Goodbye, guys. Love you. Thank you for coming. It's not letting me finish. You can't go.